Good morning and welcome to St. Peter's Episcopal Church in downtown Salisbury, Maryland. I'm Daniel Cherrix, the Director of Music. Welcome to our Lenten musical moment. This morning we have one of our choral scholars, Sarah Renee Miller, with us, and we'll get to hear a little bit more about her life, how she got started in music, what's some of her goals, and we'll get to hear this wonderful, wonderful solo piece that she's going to sing. So without further ado, Sarah Renee Miller. So I think maybe we're far enough apart that we can, maybe demask, so I can understand what you're saying.
Right.
And et cetera.
Actually see your facial expression.
Exactly. So Sarah, I'm interested, first of all, we're grateful you're here.
Thank
We're
you.
grateful that we have this Choral Scholar program and we get to interact with you, bright, young, intelligent musicians.
Thank you.
And I'm grateful for this opportunity because it'll help, I think, some of our parishioners and others get to know some of y'all, more about the music ministry here. So tell us about, you're a singer, you love music. In a nutshell, what's that all about for you?
Yeah.
How did it start?
It started probably when I was
Do
about...
this, be Britney Spears.
Is this better?
Yes.
There you go. It started when I was probably about like 5. My dad was a music director at our church when we used to live in Lexington, Virginia. And so he was really involved in the music. And so seeing that, I would like sing with him after church and stuff. And I just really enjoyed it.
So how old were you when all that started?
When he did the ministry, it was about like 4 or 5 years old. Yeah.
So were you singing in church at 4 or 5?
I wasn't singing because at that time I took dance lessons, so I was more interested. I would dance at church a lot. I didn't actually like really start singing and like singing in front of people until I was in high school.
Okay, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So would you say then that your father got you started in music?
I would definitely say he started me in music because, we would always be in the car. He always told me, he's like, you're an alto. There's no way. Like, you have to be an alto. Like, everyone wants to be an alto. And I was like, I don't think so. I think we've found out that he was wrong about that option.
So you don't think an alto.
No.
So how did you, tell us sort of about your learning career, I guess we'd call it. So from private lessons maybe before school to how did you get to Salisbury?
Mm-hmm. In high school, I had a really great choir director the first couple years I was in high school, and we would talk about like music theory and sight reading and stuff, so that kind of started to introduce me into that. It was like very minor, but like we started talking about it. And I was in some of the advanced choirs, so more of that came up as well. But it wasn't until my senior year that I did a scholarship with a choral society in Delaware that I got a $100 or $1,000 scholarship to have voice lessons. And that's when I really started. I actually did it through Presto at SU. So that was kind of like where I found SU and like where all that stuff was going on. But I still didn't end up going there first.
Right.
Yeah.
So how has COVID impacted you as a singer and SU and all that kind of stuff?
It's been really hard because especially like I'm so used to, and a lot of my friends are so used to just performing all the time, everywhere, especially like being in Dr. Wright's studio, we perform so often, and that's been taken away so much. I mean, we have one of our showcases coming up, but it's in a different type of format than just being like live. So like, it's hard sometimes because like it's nice to make that connection with people in that moment and have that moment instead of it being a pre-recorded thing that you could just watch at any point. It's still great, but it's not the same thing.
Well, and the thing about the recordings is you can edit to quote unquote perfection. So where do you stop? If you have a live performance, it is what it is and it's behind you.
Right, exactly.
But if you're recording, then the tendency for me sometimes is we can edit that mistake out,
right,
or
like,
fix that, or
we
fix
can
this.
re-record this because that didn't end up being super great. But we try, especially because like these videos were used for our competition for Nats that we just did. And so we really tried to just do like a one shot, because that's what it would be in our competition too.
Exactly.
So it still gives that idea of that in the moment.
So tell me, you just won a competition. Tell folks about that.
This is my third year in a row winning first place at the first level of NATS, which is National Association for Teachers of Singing. Yeah.
Good.
And I placed honors in musical theater as well.
So what's next with that?
So we're moving on to regionals. That's actually like in the next week and a half. Yeah, so it's coming right up. And then after nationals, we have kind of like an invitation period, and then we move to nationals. So you have to like score a certain level to be able to progress on.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, you'll do it.
That's the goal.
Briefly tell me what your goal is post-college, how much longer you'll perhaps be with us here at St. Peter's, and then introduce the people to the song and composer that you're going to sing for us today.
Okay. So I am a music education and a vocal performance major. So the end goal for me after graduating, which hopefully is in spring of 2022, is to move on to grad school for more vocal performance and then to start teaching after that point.
Have you thought about graduate school yet?
Yeah, I've thought about a couple different places.
Is it a secret, or can you tell us what?
I'm just floating with my options right now.
Okay.
I have a little bit of time to figure out exactly where I'm going, but I know that I want to go to grad school. Yeah.
So that means you after this spring, you
I have 1 full year.
1 full year left. So hopefully you'll be with us for 1 more
Right.
full year.
That is my intention. I love being here. I love this program. It's a great program.
Tell us in a minute or less about this piece you're going to play today.
Okay.
I mean, sing.
I can try and play it.
Good luck.
Well, the piece I'm performing with Daniel is Love's Philosophy by Roger Quilter. And the whole theme behind it is the relationship between the connection that exists for things in the natural world and the poem's desire to connect to his objective of affection, which pretty much means like the connections of the earth. Like in some of the phrases, there's a part where it says, the fountains mingle with the rivers, the winds of heaven mix forever. Like these elements of nature get to mix and be together, so why can't we be together?
So who wrote the poem?
The poem was written by Percy Shelley.
Exactly.
Yeah, sorry. I had the last name. I could not remember the first name.
Very good. And Roger Quilter, 20th century composer, I think, right?
Yeah, like the early 20th century. Yeah.
He died in the 50s or something, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like in 53.
All right. So after you're finished singing, stay here for just a minute, and then I want you to tell people about the Singers Showcase, okay?
Gotcha.
So without further ado, here is Sarah Renee Miller with Roger Quilter's Love's Philosophy. Thank you. So, folks, that was also, you'll remember Sharon Clark was here last week with us singing something that she was going to have sung on the 14th when we had that extended prelude all about love. Sarah also was going to sing this piece that day. So you've pretty much heard that prelude now. It only took 3 weeks to get it to you. Coming up at SU is the famous John Wesley Wright Studio Singers Showcase. So Sarah, tell us when that's happening.
So the Singer Showcase will be happening on March 19th at 7 p.m. through Sunday, March 21st at 11 p.m. And once you can go to show ticket, that's SHOWTIX for the number 4u.com. And you type in Salisbury University and it'll be the Salisbury Showcase. And then you can get your ticket there. It's completely free and you have it for like 48 hours after you rent it. We would really appreciate any donations, but of course this is free for your entertainment.
Thank you. And I will post that on the church Facebook page as well as my own, and feel free to share that so you'll get to hear probably all 3 of the choral scholars that are at SU currently. Sarah, thank you, and thank you, everyone. And I want to make a special acknowledgement to our St. Cecilia Guild for their generous support of this music ministry, without which we would not be able to have choral scholars. So thank you, members of the Guild. Join us back at noon for a service of Holy Eucharist and healing for the Feast of the Brothers Wesley. Have a good day.